What's up, everybody? Welcome to the To Be Alive podcast. This is Saints in Pairs with your special guest, Andres. We out here just chatting life, updating each other on what's been alive for us on a weekly basis. So if you guys have not checked out our previous episodes, highly recommend you do that. Andres, my friend, how are we today?
Just went through the Texas sauna, went for a walk after you and I were at the coffee shop. I'm fully drenched, if you can't tell. But good.
You're wearing the right color shirt. I can't really tell.
Yeah, smart move too.
All right, let's do a 1 minute meditation / grounding exercise. Let me get it set up. I should probably do this before I hop on the call next time. Okay. All right, go ahead and close your eyes. And listeners, if you're able to, please join us per usual. And you can take a couple of deep breaths. Settle into your body. You can scan down your body if that feels good. And just notice whatever comes up for the next minute, including any thoughts that may come up. Just notice it. And I'll call us back when it's time. All right, come on back.
How was that?
I'm a little caffeinated right now, so it was a little bit hard for me to really be still. But all good. All good. How about you?
You know what my number one thought was?
What?
Women are so much better than us at holding space for each other. And I think we're trying. I'm trying to. I'm blessed with a couple really great friends that are guys that do that. But dude, we're learning, bro. We're learning.
Where did that thought come from?
I've definitely been desiring to be heard, both by myself and other people, because of having seen that girl and kind of like a lot of emotions. And I just kept thinking about how I know she probably has a bunch of amazing girlfriends that are listening to her, and like women like love just sitting and listening, and when everything guys are so like, yeah, bro, you got it, man, you for sure, yeah, cool. And I just went on a long walk with a friend on the phone. That's where you heard me talking, and we just like, he was going through the same thing, and I didn't know that, and so we just talked the whole time, and emotionally I felt so much more full and lighter, and I was like, oh bro, life is good. I don't know why I was tripping. It's a reminder that women are better than that at us.
Yeah. Makes sense. All right. I want to pass it off to you today. If you want to kick us off, what's on your mind? What do you want to ask me?
Oh, see, it's funny because this nigga immediately back to you, so you kick it up to me so I can send you the move.
Yeah.
All right, so are you willing to get vulnerable?
Oh, absolutely.
What have you been ChatGPTing about today?
Bro. You got me. All right. I have to check because I have the memory of a goldfish. So hold on.
Damn, dog, it didn't hit you deep then. That shit barely even got through to you.
Okay, it's really interesting you asked. I'm going to give some context and then I'll answer your question. I think about 2 months ago, maybe a month ago, I was really using ChatGPT for a lot of like reflection and a lot of, there's this thing I can go to that seems to give me really good information and insights to help make sense of things I'm confused about in my life, right? Or things I want to explore or things I'm curious about, which is beautiful. I love ChatGPT for that. But I think I realized, or it just hit me, it wasn't like a thought necessarily, it's just a realization that I feel I have been missing the human component.
Mm,
And so I don't know, just naturally over the last couple of weeks, I have kind of took my foot off the gas when it comes to using ChatGPT for
processing.
processing. Yeah. I think occasionally I will, but kind of like what you were saying earlier, where a lot of this comes down to, can we hear ourselves? Can we be heard by ourselves first? I think I've been doing more of that, where if I feel something that's coming up that's really loud, instead of going straight to ChatGPT to process it, I kind of just sit with it more. And that's felt good for me. So today I asked ChatGPT, I, w- I- I've been kind of on this journey of like, I'll just say it. Like a part of this is being able to say this, with confidence. Um, like I'm on a journey of self-realization, of realizing like my true nature. That's what calls to me all the time. That's what I think about 24/7. And the way that shows up in my life is, the people I spend time with, the things I do every day, things like that, right? And I'm making changes out there. One particular area that I've been getting a lot of interesting questions around is meditation as a practice to aid in this journey. So, for the listeners, Andres and I, this week, we started doing a daily meditation practice at 7:30 in the morning. And we just both hop on a Google Meets call and we just sit for 30 minutes. And it's amazing. And it has already changed the way I spend my days. Just having those, by the way, I want to shoot this back to you after. I would love to know if you've noticed anything from our meditations. But one question I've had with meditation is, well, there's so many ways to meditate. Like there's so many different paths and different instructions out there. You can use apps, and I've had my own journey with meditation where I used a lot of apps in the past and then I followed like yoga meditation instructions. And then I was like, F all this, I'm going to do it my own way, which served me well for a while. And now I'm at a place where I'm searching or I'm seeking the next practice, like what is the practice I want to do, honestly, for the rest of my life. Like I'm at that place where I'm ready to commit to something that feels like the practice for me. Um, so that hasn't come to me yet. And so when we sit down every morning, I'm like, how do I want to use this time?
Mm,
My old way of practicing was just closing my eyes and like noticing whatever is arising in my awareness. Sometimes that's like a pit in my chest or my stomach. Sometimes that's like a squeeze in my chest. Sometimes that's just my mind going crazy with thoughts. So whatever's loudest, I'll just give it attention. It just wants to be seen. So, but like, I don't really want to do that right now. Something is telling me to like practice concentrating more. So for me personally, um, I've had a hard time. I wouldn't say hard time. It's just, it doesn't come natural to me, concentration. And what I mean by that is like breath work, for example. Like a lot of us do breath work and we're taught breath work and like it kind of becomes this competitive thing like, oh, how long can you like focus on your breath, bro? Like there's this kind of like competitive aspect to breath work that unfortunately I think is in our meditation culture today. um but for me it's just hard. Like it's hard for me to like sit there and just focus on my breath coming in and out of my nostril and just keep my attention like on the tip of my nostrils as I feel the air come in and out, because what that's doing is that's teaching me, it's teaching me to have a single pointed awareness. Like our awareness is so scattered usually. Like we're bouncing around different things all the time. Like, oh, I have to do this next tomorrow. What am I going to have for dinner? Oh my gosh, I have to text this person who texted me earlier today. Oh shit, I have to go do work. Like we're always bouncing around these things. And what the concentration does in meditation is it helps develop a single pointed awareness. And that's not something that I've developed yet. And I think part of my path is to develop that to some degree, because that's going to help me notice the stillness that is always with us, accessible all the time. I can access that place better if I can concentrate and notice with a little bit more. It's like building a muscle, honestly. That's what it feels like right now. So that's what I was asking ChatGPT about. I was like, what do you recommend? Like, is this actually, I asked it, is this necessary? Am I like kind of like just going off the deep end here for no reason? And am I just fine doing meditation the way I've always done it? And it was like, in ChatGPT fashion, is very diplomatic. It gives me an answer of like, yes and yes, like both could be true. I'm like, okay, fine, fair. So that's probably not the juiciest answer to that question.
Do you think the non-way is the way? Like the Buddha did not become enlightened by trying to figure out, well, he tried at first. He did asceticism, these different forms of practice, indulging. So he was trying to find the way, and then he just sat under the tree. He didn't probably focus on his breath. Maybe he chose what he was doing differently. He breathed for a little bit, and he tried to talk to God out loud, and he closed his eyes and just observed himself. And then he tried to like just look at the tree. Like I figure he just thought there was a way, and then he, after reflecting on his whole life, was like, keep trying to find a way. And what if the way is letting go, not having a way? So
Yeah, that makes sense, man. I think that tracks with my experience too, because it's not like I'm doing this because someone told me to do it or because this is what I'm supposed to do. Something in me naturally was like, I think it's time, Akaash, for you to learn to really concentrate. And that's it. I just knew it's time for me to learn that. I don't know why. I mean, I guess I know why. I could put it together, but it just kind of came to me recently. I was like, wow, it's that discipline. It's that masculine aspect to it that like I've cultivated the feminine aspect of this where like I can just notice what's coming up wherever. That's very feminine, very surrender, very trusting the flow type thing. The masculine is, okay, how do we create a container for this to cultivate itself? Like how do we water the soil so the plant can grow, right? And that act of watering the soil takes a little bit of effort. You have to go and fill up the can with water, and then you have to go like water the thing and not water it too much. And so there's a balance to that too. So that's what I think this is right now. So yeah, it is like what is
trying.
coming to me right now. Yeah, and it's not like I'm following any which path necessarily, which makes it kind of weird because I'm like, there's no one out there validating any of what I'm doing right now, and it's like I'm kind of on my own with this stuff, which is empowering, but also kind of like it's lonely, and it's also like there's a question of am I doing it wrong, which I know I'm not, but like the logical part of my brain is like maybe you can do it more efficiently,
That's actually, it's like the one place where efficiency is supposed to not be. It's funny.
Yeah, exactly.
The spiritual walk is like the one place I think there's like small forms of efficiency in terms of like find someone further along than you and be around them. But I almost feel like part of the journey is the trial and error. It's the time, it's the volume. You spend enough time trying to be with yourself until you are with yourself. You try to spend enough time like observing you until you are just with you. Like it's until you get the lesson, until you've seen enough of the same thoughts, until the what's coming up.
Yeah.
So I think there's just something to doing it that I also feel very like I've been anti-discipline for so long, and now I'm like happy we're doing this.
Yeah. Beautiful. So let me flip it back to you. Actually, did you have a question first you wanted to ask?
I did. I have a question. I'm gonna keep
Do it.
derailing me. I wanted to say thank you for. You know what I'm gonna say thank you for?
No.
Earlier today, right when I got to the coffee shop, you said something to me.
Oh, about showing up on time?
Do you know why I'm about to thank you for this?
No, actually.
Because you didn't let it build. You immediately like caught it, and so you went to a different coffee shop. Like you didn't allow for resentment. You didn't allow for anything to brew between our friendship and our love. And you went to a coffee shop that you wanted to check out, And then there was no spots there. You probably felt pressure because I was going to come meet you, but you didn't know exactly when, but I should have been on my way. I took much later than that. So you left the coffee shop, went to another one. It was still full. And then I was like, yeah, bro, there's one across the street. I'll be there in a second. Walking over. I grabbed my stuff. Still took long. By the time I got there, you were probably like on a wild goose chase. And you're like, dude, this mother effer. Like, I should have just stayed at the original shop. Could have made him come, and I just waited for someone to leave. But I felt pressure because I thought he was on his way, and I didn't want to probably. That's what I was assuming must have been going through your head. And then you got there, and you're like, can you be a little bit more timely? And in my head, the whole time I was thinking before it even happened, I was like, yeah, I was like, probably give him an update. It's taking longer than I thought. I was like, how many times do I want to say that? Does that annoy him? And I was like, I should probably ask him today. And before I even got the chance, he just brought it up. So I just wanted to say that. I think that's really healthy.
Bro, thank you so much for even saying that.
You see how that's a connection though? It could imagine I do it again and you didn't say anything. And then I do it again. And then it leaks out and then you get mad at me for something. And it's like,
And I'll be honest, like this was not a singular. It wasn't like this was the first time it happened and I said it. I kind of noticed there's been a couple of times where like, you know, you'll show up a little bit later than what the time you said, and it's no big deal to me, right? But like, I did feel like, oh, today, yeah, exactly. You pretty much were spot on. By the way, the way you what you imagine my experience being is exactly what kind of happened, but not in like a like way. It wasn't like I was frustrated. I was just like, I'm just flowing. So I was like, okay, this is what's happening. Okay, I think I just need to tell him because that's all that needs to be done here. And I know when I tell you, you'll honor it. Like it's that simple. Because I think at some level you feel it too.
and it improves our communication. It even like I saw the time and I was like, oh, I could probably get on by 4:01 and I'll be better about the pod this time because I'm also late to the pod. I have a tendency to be this kind of person, and so it also it helps me. It helps sharpen me up, have more responsibility. So yeah, just wanted to start off with that, and there's another thing I wanted to ask you. Maybe it's on my note. We don't have to go into right now, but I want to have a conversation about communication, mixed signals, dating, and friendship, and how right now I feel like I'm noticing I have two friends. It's a common theme in relationships. When you first meet somebody, it's a common theme. And it feels like it's something that's not talked about enough. And so I wanted to have a container for it for us to talk about on the pod today for some reason.
Okay. Do you want to get into it right now?
Unless you have something else you want to bring up first.
I have something I want to bring up, and it is also going to require some vulnerability. And I think it'll be a perfect segue into the topic you just proposed.
Please. I love vulnerability.
And be completely honest when you answer this.
I'm ready, baby. Oh, wait, actually. Okay, I'm ready.
Yeah. I would love to know, and I'm not asking this because I just want us to shower each other with compliments.
What do you think of me?
No.
Okay,
I mean, that's interesting. That's an interesting question, though.
I want us to answer that one after.
How do you feel about the current state of our friendship?
Bro, great question. There's one thing that I haven't brought up to you that I've wanted to, but I've had one hesitation about. It's I feel like you have a mode of operating now when it comes to listening to people's feelings, as in And it kind of reminds me, you've told me about one other person in your life that would vent a lot to you. And at one point, you kind of just listened to them and you didn't say anything. You listened to them and you didn't say anything. And you just like smiled or whatever. And they like did everything themselves. And you were like, thank you. You didn't give any cup of tea. And I notice in our friendship, sometimes when I bring stuff up, it's the same thing. It's like you'll listen, you'll take it in, you'll acknowledge, like, yeah, it seems like you're getting a good grip on that, or it seems like you processed it a decent amount. And then we like nod, shake hands, and like, all right, bro, I love you. And I've noticed it's interesting because the way I desire to be loved is for someone to sit in it with me. And this is my human tendency. And I desire for someone to maybe like, I think it's active listening is what it's called, like a therapeutic term of like, you speak back to the other person what you think they said, which is something you've even brought up, like, hey, maybe we should do another pod to help each other feel seen, which is ironic. Um, and I think I desire that in my friendships, but I've also had a level of respect of you try to operate with yourself that way of like, if you're feeling all these things that are vulnerable and uncomfortable and you're triggered and you don't even want to tell me, you don't want to even have me hold it for too long. I'll notice that you'd be like, yeah, but it's fine. Or like, okay, but that's good for now. And then you'll kind of pull away because you think it's healthy of like, let me handle it. Let me regulate myself. This is my work to do. This isn't someone else to carry. And there's levels to that that's super healthy. It's not unhealthy. Neither one is like right or wrong. But I think there's a part of me that feels that I think we aren't as close. And maybe it's a story because I sometimes don't want to share things with you because you won't give me the active listening the way that somebody else would. So I'll go share it with them. And I don't see that as like less than. I just see it as like a certain type of friendship. Um, I don't actually know what to make of that, but that's my super raw honesty.
Dude, I thank you for bringing that up because I've had the exact same. I've noticed the same thing. Like
Bro, you gotta be goofing me, bro.
no, yeah, I've noticed the same thing, and because I know how you operate, and you are someone that values that. Um, I mean, I think most people would love, like most people desire to feel like what they're saying is truly important by someone else, and is received by someone else. Um, so first of all, like I want to acknowledge that, you know, um, I think there's a level of intimacy that you're asking for that I have yet to establish in myself. And so I'm not able to really give it to you as a automatic response yet because I'm still working on honoring that within myself in some ways. And then there's also a part of me that I feel like there is an aspect of it that does, when you said this is just maybe the nature of our friendship, I think that also is partially true, you know, because you are someone who's very much in his heart and you operate from that place and you're very like, you're just a very human, like you're very much in your human, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, and honestly, I tend to live a little bit above that in some ways. Like I'm very like heady. I'm very hard to, I have a lot of heart, but it shows up in a different way. You know, it's not necessarily in the context of my interpersonal relationships with people all the time. Um, I'm not really sure what that is, to be honest, with that right now. Like I don't.
I have a theory.
I want to
Wait,
hear that.
yeah, no, your thought is coming through. Let it come through.
I guess what I'm trying to I want to get at here is I don't want to believe that there's something wrong with me.
Yeah.
With this. And I think
Agreed.
that's just the mode I operate in. And there's something about it that I'm meant to accept and love because it does allow me to see more clearly in the ways that I can at the cost of maybe not always being able to meet people exactly where they're at because I'm just floating a little bit above. Like my perspective is always a little bit higher. And it's not to say I know what's happening. I know like I have the answer to everything, but at some level, like I see it. And so I'll be honest, man, I struggle sometimes talking to people because I can see through what is being said. I can see beneath it, but then I can't just like say that because like it's gonna not land with that person because they're gonna feel like, whoa, where'd that come from? So I've so I'm like in some sense forcing myself to come down and try to meet them. And I realize it takes a lot of energy out of me to do that. And it's not being authentic to myself either if I do it that way. So yeah, and last thing to say is, and there's a part of me that wants to learn because there's an element of willpower here. I have the willpower, um, I have the free will, I should say, to learn. And I want to learn because I love people and I love connecting with people in the ways that I like to connect with people. So this is not really a solution I'm offering, or I'm like, I hear you and I want to talk about this more. And probably we will talk about this more already without even having to explicitly talk about it more. This will be kind of just like in the background, but I appreciate you bringing that up because I felt the same thing. And I think I was a little bit sad about it this week because I felt it. I felt this week in particular, I felt a little bit of distance, even though it's funny because we spent a lot of time together. We're on meditation calls together and all this stuff, but there's like a distance. Yeah. The same distance I felt after the first few weeks when I moved here. There was like a period of time where like we were connecting and then we kind of were not connecting, or like we drifted a little bit. So this feels like that, and I think it's the nature of our friendship. We're gonna have these movements, and I'm not worried about it, if that makes sense. And at the same time, I hear you, my friend. I hear everything you're saying, and like we'll I want to talk about it more, and I don't have anything right
And
now to add. Yeah.
what do you desire for it to look like then?
I'm gonna give a really annoying answer. I desire for it to be what it
What it
is.
is.
I don't want to force things.
Yeah, I wouldn't say anything needs to change, but it's kind of like what they say in couples counseling. When someone comes home, when your husband comes home, your wife comes home, what do you wish they would do? And in a non-romantic way, it's like you brought up this question because you noticed distance. So you obviously there was a tension in the distance inside of you. So what would the non-distance look like?
Sorry, I was just some thunder outside right when you said that question, which
I
is
know I heard that.
the timing of that was interesting. What was the distance? Boom, It's a beautiful question. Let me feel into that. Hmm. I don't have a good answer. um, Everything that I experience like this, I automatically bring it back to myself, right? So like the way I look at this is, in what way am I not meeting myself fully for this feeling to exist in an external situation in our friendship, in other words. Um, like I talked about grief a lot recently, and I think there's been meeting myself with that, with those very like uncomfortable emotions and just sitting through it the way I did, the way I've talked about previously. But there's more. There's more to explore. There's more there that I don't know right now, like what that looks like or what's the next, wave, whatever is going to be. But I think it reveals to me that there's still something inside of me that doesn't feel whole. Like I don't feel whole right now in some ways. And it's about meeting that version of myself that I'm pushing away. Because when I say I don't feel whole, that implies I'm pushing some part of myself away, or I'm resisting some aspect of myself. So it's about like, what is that? What are those things? And I have theories and stuff, but we don't have to get into all that right now. Were you gonna ask something? Sorry.
It's just cool that you saw it. Like that was my theory. That I mean, I think both can be true. Like I am a heartfelt person more so, uh, in a way, and I'm a very like therapeutic ear for people, and so it's the way I'm wired. Everyone's wired and loves differently. And I respect the way that you love and want to be loved. And there are certain moments where we are really close, like that time where you got high and we're on the couch, and we've had other moments, but your guard went down maybe because you were high and you were just like, it was just real, you know? And yeah, I think there's just something in the story probably of receiving love.
I mean, if I can make a proposal, man, I would love to spend more time like that together. I think right now here's the thing, right? Like what you're describing is a very feminine energy. It's a nurturing, receiving,
Unstructured.
loving energy.
Yes.
Right now, you and I are like, we're in our own ways in our life. I feel like we're in our masculine, like we're trying to. Like
Yeah.
you're,
Work,
Andres says,
pod, meditation, focus, workout,
yeah.
execute.
And like you and I, we keep each other accountable in ways. Like we're meditating together. We don't go to the gym as often. But I think your mic's echoing a little bit. If you want to, it says it's
Mute.
connected to your computer. Yeah. Maybe if you want to mute on your end before. Yeah. Yeah. And then you can, it might be a little annoying, but like you and I, we're doing all these things together, like, but not from a place of let's spend this time together to open up our feelings and
To like
whatnot,
connect. Yeah.
to connect. Yeah. It's more of like, actually, it's okay, man. Leave it because it'll, hopefully the software will cancel it out after. Yeah. So I think if we create those spaces, we can bring that wall back down. Because there's a part of me that wants to. Like I have so many things I want to ask you, like personal things I want to ask you, because I'm so curious. Because I have so much love for you, man. Like I genuinely do care. But also I'm like, you know me, I'm a little more hands off. I'm not gonna pry. I'm not gonna question too much. So
I like prying and questioning, by the way. I do it to everybody.
like I just trust the way you move in a weird way. Like I have so much trust in the way you're approaching your life, man, that like I don't need to raise concerns, but I still want to hear your perspectives and your emotions and like what are you struggling with? So let's create time for that. I would love that.
I think maybe the ideal is to do it, like you said, when there's nothing on the calendar, like outside of work hours, outside of like, okay, we have meditate. I'm moving on to the next thing. I've noticed this even happens in my romantic relationships. If I have something I'm supposed to be doing next, my mind is starting to go there and I can't be as here as I want to be. So it's the same thing. A
Yeah.
little friendship date type shit.
Exactly.
Just how it
Like
works.
I know you don't like eating out too much, but I love going out to restaurants for
Oh,
this reason. There's something about going out, just to you and a friend sitting at a table, having like the way, like I love restaurants. It's one of my favorite places. I just love the buzz, and I'm able to like, I have the best conversations across the dinner table from people. So like that's something I would love to do more of. Um, and we can introduce marijuana as we needed. Like that's always fun, but
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, dude. Hey, dude, this is what healthy friend or conversations and communication looks like.
absolutely.
Amazing.
But dude, thank you for sharing. Thank you for like bringing this up and feeling safe enough to share with me. Yeah, it means a lot that you can share that. And I hear you.
You know, that goes into a good segue. The same thing happened to me today from someone else. Same person. Someone asked me the same thing. So there's this buddy of mine. Yeah, this is crazy, bro. This
Are
is
you
crazy.
serious?
I'm not even joking. I was gonna bring it up to the pod because I was floored. So I met this guy playing pickleball, and mind you, I'm gonna wrap this full circle around this idea of like I've been trying to make more non-church friends, and it's hard to find people. There's a whole dilemma there. It's hard to find people that are high integrity, that aren't from religion, and yet there are these people in my life, and like it's just connect with them more. It's all I really need. But there's this buddy of mine. I met him playing pickleball way back. He's got a crazy good job, got a good looking Indian dude, and hard worker. Gets too many women that he shouldn't, um, and we have great vibes. And he like I'm a therapeutic ear to him. He loves talking to me, and we have great times. We've been on even like an adventure one time in Dallas, all this stuff. But I always have my guard up with him, and I know I have my guard up. But he always wants to invite himself to my plans. I don't want him to come. He's like a glass cannon, like. And I've never told him, right? But I've wanted to, because he always wants to be close, and I only hang out with him one-on-one, and I stiff arm him a lot. Sure enough, the last 2 months have been a little bit of a blitz for me, and I just stopped reaching out. He's reached out a couple times. I kind of blew him off, and I call him once or twice, and we miss each other. I call him today because I'm like, something's up. I gotta call him. I should call him. He picks up finally. Never picks up like first ring, and we immediately do what we always do, which is connect super easily, super well. He's telling me about all the girls he's been seeing, and I'm talking about the relationship and everything. And then at middle of the call, all right, before he hangs up, he goes, dude, I missed hanging out. We've had a great times. And he's like, and we connect so well. And he goes, why haven't we been hanging out more? And it wasn't like, oh yeah, bro, like I got you. He goes like, I want you to be very honest with me. Like, why haven't we been hanging out? Why haven't we been as close? Which is literally the same side of the coin. And I was like, I'm in the grocery store pushing like a cart right now. And so I stop, and I was like, I need to say this properly. And I'm like, because you bring out the part of me sometimes that I'm trying not to be anymore, which is this like, he likes to stay up and party and have the fun and the fast life and girls. And I'm like, and he's also thoughtful and very kind and caring and wants a girlfriend and a wife. And I'm like, I just don't think you can have both. And I like it when you're being noble, and I don't like what you bring out of me, and I don't want to think like that. And I'm kind of embarrassed to introduce you to my friends, and I don't want them to think I'm like that. And he was like, I'm really happy you told me that. And I get it. And I don't want to be that person either. And I think I just haven't necessarily had good role models. And so it was like a moment of connection. I think we're going to hang out a little bit more, but it's so nice to just say the truth around something like this. Like I was like, I kept stiff arming him. I could have just told him, but it came back around.
Yeah.
And it like ends up calling him higher and me higher. Like we had this opportunity, and I had the same, it's like the third guy combo today where I end up basically being challenged of like, why don't we be better together? And not even just in our friendship, but like, why don't we be better and show up better to the world, show up better to relationships? And I think that segues into the kind of energy that I'm desiring out of a men's group. We've been talking about men's groups. I had an amazing call today. I was excited to talk to you about with
Let's
this
go.
guy. I had
You want
this
to give some
amazing.
context to the listeners?
Yes. So Akaash and I have been wanting to find a group of guys that kind of think like us, have our energy, want to hold space and vulnerability so we can continue to grow. And so we're like, oh, let's make it, right? But it's like, who do we invite? We want it to be very specific. So I got recommended three different men groups that are similar to this kind of energy. And I spoke to one of the leaders of CEO of one of them today. There's like 50, maybe 30 chapters around the country. The whole premise, it's called Man Uncivilized, and has a really cool list of, they call it the ethos, the 12 things that every man should be. I mean, you know what? I'm going to read them out because I think it's really special. And you won't pull it up on this. Can I share my screen, or is that kind of weird?
No, you can share your share.
Okay.
Just make sure you share what you want to share and don't share things you don't want to share.
All right, I'm going to do this. That's a good point. Let me do this. Open with preview. Put this over here. No, I'm just kidding. I don't really have anything to hide. But let me close this up. I don't have anything to hide. I've never had anything to hide in my life. So here it is.
Nice.
These are the 12 tenets that they want people to, I guess, these people in the men to live by. So be unapologetically male. Be your brother's keeper. Be dangerous, but not a danger. Make still the mind. Make savage the body. Know that your deepest gifts grow in the gardens of your wounds. Practice both presence and performance. Honor the men who came before you, the women who bore you, and the children who will inherit the earth. Have equal and open access to your head, your heart, and your balls. Live by the rule, there are no rules. Love fiercely, openly, and without reservation. Know that love without strength leads to victimhood, and strength without love leads to tyranny. And last one is fight hurt.
Mm, amazing. Did you feel the energy of all this when you were talking to him?
Yes. So I'm going to go into it for a second. He has an amazing story. He was in the military, and then became a police officer for over a decade. And in the military, he's 21 years old. He's stationed across the country, across the world. He's at, I don't know what war he was in. And he finds out that his wife was cheating on him with his best friend while he's away. And apparently this is a really common story for people in the military, which is really sad. The listening ear, supporting your wife, blah, blah, your buddy, and then, intimacy builds and you're not there. And he's like, I did what every guy does. I just shoved it down. Stay hard. Who gives a fuck? Whatever. Starts to drink a lot. And then he finally comes back to the States. He's a police officer, blah, blah. And he goes, and then I'm retiring, right? And he's like, and this guy's really good looking for his age and everything in terms of his shape. And now he's a CrossFit coach. But he's like, but in 2016, I was in hell. I was married again. And I was experiencing crazy amounts of PTSD symptoms, and I had no idea like what to do with. And he's like, everyone's like therapy. He goes, bro, I get into therapy and I'm not functioning. Like the walls and the layers and like there's mass that beyond mass that I can't even. There's nothing. There's no one getting through. And then he's like, everyone's like, go to AA meetings and go to men's groups, and he's like everything. He's like, bro, I would try this stuff, and I'm just a wall. Like there is a flood behind that gate that will not open. And he's like, but I'm crippling in every corner of like, I can't function. I'm just hiding. Like on the outside, I'm somewhat put together, but I'm just like crippling internally. And I don't know. I think he got invited to one of these men's groups. And like he heard, I don't know, he didn't give me the details on this, but he's like, it was the one place where I got what everybody was telling me I'm supposed to get, the therapy, the AA, whatever. And it was just a room of people that were like stupid raw about what was happening and what they wanted and where they were trying to go and how they just weren't like there yet. Um, and he's like, it finally put like a little crack in the wall. And then he showed up again and he showed up again. And then like, it's been since 2016 only. And when he was speaking to me, he's about to get his go back to grad school to get his master's in counseling. He's like, I don't really care to go through the schooling. It's just to get the paperwork because like, and he feels so much more put together. He's like done a lot of the work. He's done a lot of the healing. He has men in his circle. His wife and him have reconciled like crazy. He's had to look at all the shit that happened with him and his friend and the betrayal and like the alcoholistic years. And he has a way more holistic sense of self and way more peace about him. And he's the CEO of this company, of this men's group organization. So yeah, there's a chapter in Austin, and I'm gonna hopefully check it out. The next one's next month, and if I'm gonna see you should just come with me to the first one. I was gonna check out the first one and bring you, but whatever.
I'm in.
But yeah, there's something about the ethos that I love, which is the yin yang. Like you're saying, we're good at being feminine, but there's a part of us that also wants to be unapologetically male.
Yeah. Which, by the way, I don't want to brush over that. I don't want to brush over the fact that we can tune and tap into our feminine. Right? It's not something I actually think a lot. Where I'm from, a lot of men are in their feminine. Not necessarily the case in other places in the country and in the world. But yeah, I don't want to brush over that because, like, ultimately, as a man, we want to have like a balance, right, between our masculine and our feminine. So anyway, that's incredible, man. So where does that take you? Like you want to go experience this men's group. You want to see what it's about. We want to start our own men's group, right? As well. So I'm just curious, like where are you right now with all that? Do you feel like you're just exploring first? You want to get a sense of what's out there and then
Well,
how
this
to
is the
refine?
interesting part, and I don't even think we had discussed this, but I think the desire to start one will be louder if I can't find what I'm looking for.
Yo, that's a bar.
Thank
That's a
you.
bar. Yeah.
Because if what I'm looking for exists in life, then plug in. But if what I'm looking for doesn't exist, then I have no choice. It's like something within me calls.
What are you looking for?
It's just raw. Like people that are raw about themselves, they are exactly who they say they are, and they're loud about it, and they want to be around other people that are the same. It's just like it's those people. Ideally, it's people that have some drive, because I just know that like makes me hungry for more life in like a healthy way. It's like they wake up and they're like, I have this thing that calls me forward.
Yeah.
I want to go serve. I want to go build this. I want to be here. I want to be a great husband. I want like there's something, there's an ache to be
Mm,
of, and I want to go deeper in my meditation. I want to be more, I want to find enlightenment. Um, yeah, people with that. And that's infectious.
oh, I
What
feel
do you
that.
what do you
No,
want?
man, you just described it. Like nothing else. I feel like it's a space to practice all those things. It's a space where you feel safe to not just even it's like safety is like the bare minimum. You feel like encouraged, you feel empowered to bring that version of yourself because when you're able to bring that version of yourself like in that setting, it makes you realize like why not outside of this setting too. And that's where the magic happens, right? And as men, we don't have like I always say this, we don't have role models in society as men. We do not have any good role models. I mean, I was obviously I would say females are in a similar situation, but definitely men don't have good role models. In fact, we don't have role models to the point where like the Andrew Tates of the world have become our role models, or they took that vacant area and they became like role models, and that's why they galvanized so many people because it was somebody advocating for the man for the masculine. Finally, someone in the world, even though he's so extreme, that's why people went after it. But what's missing is this embodied, balanced,
Yes.
masculine vibe, this
That's
energy that,
but that is loud because of its presence.
yeah, and that's what's missing. And I think that's what you're looking for in some sense, and that's what I'm also looking for. And I think we both see that maybe not in those words, but like the energy we recognize. And when we like start this, let's say we're starting this and you don't find what you're looking for. Um, I think that energy is what we're gonna like cultivate
Yes. And
because we're
good
kind
thing
of
we put
cultivating
this
it.
on the pod, because now we can go back and listen to it if we forget exactly what's in it.
Yeah, hell yeah, and hold each other accountable. Although that's not really a problem in our friendship or anything.
We do a lot of that. Um, there was something I was gonna say on the energy that we were looking for. Oh, I've heard one friend of mine told me that Andrew Tate is the male shadow completely untamed,
Yes.
which was it was brilliant. She was brilliant in her observation, and he goes all the way. Like he is the male all the way. And so it's so attractive because it's like a powerful beacon of fucking masculinity. Does it come with but it comes with just that. Like it's just all that. So yeah, it pulls. I mean, the fathers of society right now have been like Andrew Tate, and there was a period of Jordan Peterson, and I'm forgetting this one other name, but men need fathers. And so they're looking for a masculine, potent figure to be the father and to pull out the masculine in them, and tell them it's okay that you want to hit the gym and you want to get girls and you want to do this, but but there's a deeper reason that they miss when it's like just to get girls. It's like, no, it's not to get the girl. It's that you want to be the knight. You want to be the gladiator in the ring of like, to build yourself physically, build yourself emotionally, and show up with this tender but like dangerous, but not a danger. You want to be dangerous, and the woman wants to feel safe and drawn to you because of how much like yeah, there's some sense of like, holy shit, I can't not respect him. Um, so
Hey, what if that's us? I'm gonna throw it out there. What if we, not to say we're gonna become huge and big and influencers like them, but like, what if that's part of what we're here to do? At least right now.
you know what's so interesting? I agree, and I had this, and you know what? I'll say this. This is okay for now. I used to dream like a mother ever. Like I dream like a mofo, bro. You have no idea. Like, and the dreams that I would feel, like,
Mm.
it felt so rich that it was almost as if I was gonna wake up and I was gonna enter into that exact scene and it was gonna continue playing. Like, it was like I'm pressing the play button and my life is this. Um, and one of them was when I was at that missionary work and I was like, I'm supposed to lead this organization. Like, I'm the one at the top of the pillar. Not because I wanted the fame. It was actually the opposite. It was because the things that need to get done are not going to get done if I'm not in this place, and things will move properly. And then I had this like long fallout where like I was like, if it's not that, I don't know what to do. Like the loss of meaning. And I had this priest, which is really interesting. He never met me before. I gave a talk as a recruiter for this organization, and he comes up to me at the end, and he goes, "Do you know your calling?" And I was like, I don't know. I mean, maybe to get married, yada. He's like, is it married or be a priest? Because that's what the Catholics think. There's two routes. And I was like, definitely not be a priest. But, and he goes, and this is so interesting. There's a lot of wisdom in this. And I want to know what you think. He's like, then your calling is simple. He's like, work hard, find a beautiful woman, establish a life with her with children. And he goes, that is your kingdom of heaven. If you're looking for the kingdom of heaven, it is that. You find this beautiful woman, you build a home together, and the kids that you have is where the kingdom will form. And he goes, and then if you really want to do this well, and he goes, if you can pull this off, you have made it farther than all. Is like, bring your closest friends into the same neighborhood with you, and if it's not your closest friends, go to your neighbor and befriend them, so that you might have maybe it's a cul-de-sac is what he called it, and you might have 5 families, 10 families that are building the kingdom. And he goes, that is it. If that's all you do in this life, you have found heaven. It doesn't have to be just that vision, but there's something in what he was saying that like really spoke to me about, and it's kind of the same energy we're talking about with this men's group. It's like, I don't know. I don't actually, I hate social media. I don't want to be known by the world, but I want to be bright. Like, I want to be someone that when people are around, they're like, this guy has a piece of the kingdom. And when I'm with him, I start to feel it more. And I want to build it with my friends. I want to have it with my wife. And there's a sense of I'm I'm becoming, and I am, and I am, and I'm kind of someone who like loves fully. I work freaking hard, all this other stuff. Um, and it brings just a little bit more light into my corner of the world. And if that is all I have in this existence, I'm full. Like, that's my kingdom. For some reason, I wanted to say that because the big dream of like building this huge thing doesn't really call to me as much anymore. But I think if you do it small and you do it well, the impact is so rich. Maybe it does become big anyways. But that's what I care about.
Bro, another bar. I have the exact same way of looking at this. Like, I have the same desire, yearning maybe is a better word. Um, the kingdom of heaven is in the family. Like, that resonates
Yes.
so deep. It's the same with me. Like, I talk about this imaginary family of mine all the time. So I think what you're getting at is that it's not about you, right? Like you're not becoming big, you're not becoming famous, you're not becoming well known. It's not, oh, look at me. It's if that happens, it's because it helps others. You shine a light in a way that others can see themselves more clearly, and then they can become more happier, peaceful. They can become lighthouses themselves, right? And like it just ripples out. And I'm not just saying this to be nice, man, but you already are that person. Like I genuinely mean that. And I think you probably know it at some level, and I know you're too humble to accept it, but you already are that, and you're already doing it. So this to me just makes perfect sense. It tracks. It completely tracks, and it's not crazy at all to me as someone who knows you. It's like if you said anything else, I'd be like, huh?
Hmm. You know, can I say something really, really vulnerable? I didn't think I was going to talk about this in the pod. Um, I've been looping all week about something that this girl said on the date. And I don't think it requires me to give in, but I think I'm supposed to look at it. This girl and I, you heard about it last on the pod, but on Sunday we finally we went on a date actually, and it was amazing. And we got into our disagreements about what we believe, and she's like, no sex before marriage. Like, and she's like, and I'm so excited when I have my husband that we will have this whole world to explore together. That it could be awkward at the beginning and painful and weird and we have nothing but time and to explore and have fun. And I kept telling a friend of mine today, I was like, it's not about the sex. I'm one of those guys, I actually don't really care for it. For me, everything is about connection. And if it's a way to connect, great. But there's an openness that comes when a woman trusts you to be together. And I think that's beautiful. And I think the control part, and it's like maybe it's a lack of faith. I call it discernment of like wanting to have that sex before marriage part as like a part of exploration or whatever you want to call it, as a part of discernment. Like what is that part of you? There's so much to you when it comes to your sexuality. What does that look like when you explore together? But that's like maybe that's just my human lack of trust discernment. And when she said it, and I don't know if it's just like a high calling, it has to do with this energy of like doing the hard thing for out of love that I don't know. I don't know if we're ever supposed to be together. Who knows? But there's something in that call that like felt noble. Like I was being called to something bigger than me of like, what if you actually did this crazy thing? And you waited and you fought like a mother effer and like cursing a lot this episode. I don't know what's going on with me. But it's like and instead of just being like, oh, we have these moments of intimacy and it's like we're getting close and we slip up one night, ooh, like it's like, what if you're like, no, I'm trying to honor you. Like I'm trying to honor you and I don't want this thing to taint, not because it's taintful, but because it's bonding and because it's unique. And I don't know my stance on it yet, but there was something about there's an allure to doing the hard that I think is the heart of the masculine that I don't want to look away from right now. Like I don't know if it has to be that extreme, but there's something in that call that is waking me up a little bit. And I even feel it in this like desire of mine. I want a woman that like challenges the shit out of me. It's like, do something hard. Like not prove your love to me, but like, is our lives really for us? Like, are we, I don't know. I don't know if you feel the essence of what I'm getting at.
Can I try to sure like summarize what you're sharing
Please,
in my
please.
own words? It sounds like you're talking about like a devotion in a
Tell me
way.
more.
Like the energy of devotion. It's like in this example, it's saving sex until you're married, right? Like that's the way you show your devotion. Like it's like I'm gonna make a sacrifice. I'm gonna do something difficult. I'm gonna create hardship, and you're quoting that, in my life because it's something that you value, and so I want to show you that like I'm going all the way, like we're going all the way. Um, and so like is that in the is that let me first check in.
I think it has less to do out of devotion for her and more to do to devotion of like something bigger than yourself. Like
Mm,
it's like, yeah, like maybe even the legs of marriage are something bigger than you. It's not about you. It's about what you're building the kingdom and your kids. That's not about you. And so
mm,
like the act of saving it could be it's a sacrificing so that your character molds into that form of like I'm going to surrender this. This is for something bigger. This is for there's something there. I'm not getting it in the word. And this goes into the attachment trap that I wanted to bring up of like so much of our relationships are consumed. There's so few good relationships that I've seen, so few good marriages, so few people getting married anymore. And I think because to make it work, it's not about you. And I think that's what the advantage is of some of these religious people of like, it's not about them. They accept that cost. And I don't know. I think at some point people maybe turn a page on like, oh, I want this, I want my needs, I want this, I want that, and they like eventually are like, I want to work for something bigger, and that's the only way this is gonna work with someone else. That's what
mm.
I'm getting at. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. A lot of like traditions talk about like a surrender to something bigger than you, and so the things that the thing that drive you are no longer about you as a person. It's about like I'm just the vessel through which I'm being asked to do this, and so there's like this non-attachment to the way you move, and also like it's weird because like it's a non-attachment, but also that non-attachment gives you access to like this infinite well of love, right? That like if there's attachment, we try to we try to create that love for us externally, but when you surrender to something beyond yourself and you feel this urge, this calling of like I want to create something special with a person, for example, everything in that relationship now is recontextualized. It's not about like what can this person do for me, what can I do for them. It's like this is just the way I want to move because it's not about me. And
Mhm.
guess what? It also honors you along the way.
It's really beautiful to hear that outside the context of Catholicism because yeah, it's there's something about that in our soul and our psyche of like wanting to give up some of your even small dreams, desires, not because they aren't good, but because they will be fulfilled when you like surrender to this thing above you. Like I've been in this, I don't know where the word isn't selfishness, but I've even viewed my parents' marriage sometimes. I'm like, I don't think I want that. And they have the healthiest marriage that I've witnessed to this day. I don't know anyone else. And I'm still like, I don't know if I want that. So I'm like, what the hell? What do I want then? Um, Super hard to find, but I think it's because they might have figured something out that I haven't figured out yet. Um, there's obviously little ways that I would act differently and communicate differently, but they made a choice. My parents made a choice way back where it wasn't going to be about them anymore. And it's so self-evident. The way my parents loved me and my sister, and my mom loves my dad, and my dad loves my mom. I'm like, it's not for their gain, like first at all. My mom will sink. She's like the duckling that, like the mama duck that would die to protect all the kids. And it's like, there's no hesitation. Like easy, take a bullet. Same with my dad. Oh, what about my dad's desire to go do this or that? Like, bro, his life is just completely made up of like taking care of the fam. That's how it was growing up. There was no like personal time. Not that it, and eventually there's always moments, but I don't know. They did something special.
Do you kind of just feel in the like do, something about what the person who you went out with last weekend? It was last weekend, right?
Yeah, Sunday. Dude, it's only been 5 days and my whole life has been flipped upside down. Keep going.
Yeah. No, I was just like kind of bringing it back where like you feel this something she said made you remember this or realize this in more deeply that like you get it. Like there was validity to what she was saying in some way.
Yes. What the craziest part is, like, it was the beauty of her feminine essence that made me want to rise up. Like, it wasn't the prettiness in which she said it. It wasn't in which, like, she didn't make a good argument. She didn't make a good case. I'm not gonna lie. Her argument was not great. And I felt like mine was too coherent to some extent. But it didn't change the fact that I was like, what is the masculine without the feminine of this, like, you want to protect the feminine and love it and like be all that you could be for it. And it really drew me out.
Mm. That's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. This is great because this is actually you're making me think more about my own view of what kind of relationship dynamic I want, and you know. So thanks for sharing this.
Can I bring something up? We're already over in the episode. Is it fine if we
There's
keep?
dude, there's no we can go for an hour
Bro,
and a half. It doesn't matter.
I went to so many. This week has been crazy. I went to I went to this dating event because maybe half of it was like I need to get back out there immediately because I was like trying to get over this girl or something. Um, and it was this really great event where it's all about. It was this dating coach trying to teach you about the nervous system and how to regulate and why relationships don't work because they don't regulate and whatever. But he said something about how you should go about dating that I've been thinking about all week as well. And his stance, because I feel like sex always makes things messy. And he was like, and I'm like, well, when is it okay? And his whole take was like, no one has good examples of what it looks like. And so no one knows how to figure it out. It's great to have a coach because they help hold your hand through the part where it's like, I don't know what to do here. And he's like, he had a framework around obviously connect, see if there's energy, see if there's chemistry. But he's like, but before you build the physical, he goes, know that they're on the same path in the same direction. Know that your values align. Do you want family? How soon would you like to have a family? What does your work purpose look like? Do you want to just have 9 to 5s? Do you want to build something together? Where do you want to live? And he goes, talk about, what's your spirituality look like? Do you want to pray together? Do you want to meditate together? Do you want to like work on your physique? Like how important is to you? Like he's like, know their heart in that sense. So that like, it's like a job criteria. Like check the boxes of you're going to be a good partner with me just because you're going to line up. You're going to want to do the same things I'm doing, or we're going to believe the same things in some sense that are non-negotiable. And he goes, then get to know them more. And he goes, maybe it's a couple months in. And he was even like, don't even engage in other sexual stuff. Kiss, hold hands, great. Which was crazy radical for a secular person to say. And then he was like, and once you see the path is like, we're fucking going. We're going. And he goes, then when you have sex, it's like a rocket ship. It's the rocket. You've been building the rocket ship together, and it's the fuel, and all it does is ignite the love. And he goes, and then when it doesn't, like let's say like for some reason down the line, he had this a couple couples where it didn't work out, but it didn't work out because something they hadn't either known yet about each other or like life circumstances. She needed to move away, blah, blah. They looked at each other and said, like, I love you so much. And I see you and thank you for these couple months. You've taken me so much further and I felt so seen. And it's okay to let go now. Because the attachment was healthy and secure, and they were holding hands all the way through. There wasn't this, I want to let go of your hand right now, but I kind of want it sometimes. It's like, no, we were fucking going. And then it didn't damage anybody. He said it was like, it was more beautiful. It's like forgiveness. You didn't want to hurt the person, but you did. And afterwards you're closer because you forgave. It's the same thing. You had sex and you're actually closer for it. And there's love for it because you honored the shit out of them beforehand. So something to think about.
Yeah. Again, resonates. It's exactly the perfect thread that you're adding on top of what you shared before. That like when it's not about you, it doesn't become personal. It's like, oh, we just had this incredible ride for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months, whatever it is, and it feels like it's time to go our separate ways. But there isn't like clinging, like the attachment, right? There's no attachment to like the person because like you just both see this clearly. And I think that's what it comes down to is like, can you see the situation clearly? Can you like get into it from a state of clarity? And then can you communicate that clarity throughout? Because that's going to be important. And then if it requires it requires you to let go of that person, then it doesn't become this like crazy hard conversation. I'm sure it's painful, but it's not like, oh my God, I'm going to, like we're clinging at the relationship, like,
And where
which
did
is, I
this
think,
come from? We're getting sideswiped. No.
right. There's no surprise. You kind of feel it in your bones, maybe a month before, and then it kind of just gradually leads to that moment. And I think that's just like, again, from my brain, like that's just the way I think we're meant to be, you know? Like I always use the example of nature. Like you go out and you just see nature. Like if a tree gets hit by lightning and it erupts into a fire and it kills all the trees around it, no one in nature isn't complaining. Nature isn't like, oh my gosh, what a tragedy. It's like, this just happened. This is, and let's rebuild. And let's, and then there's literal science that shows like wildfires are good for the growth of forests. You know what I mean? And for the ecosystem and whatnot. Weird like analogy, but it's the same idea with us. Like we are also nature and we're meant to flow. And the flow only happens when we release the attachment to things, attachment to people, attachment to ideas, to ideals. I'm recognizing as we're speaking that I have an attachment to the type of relationship I want. And that I think in some ways been holding me back from actually going out there and trying, which I know you know. So spot on, man. I feel it in my heart. Anything else you want to share? Anything else on your heart?
There's something about this. I'm so grateful I went out with her. Like I didn't know why. And look at the fruits. There's like this weird level of conviction coming into my heart. There's something about this men's group and wanting to be around other guys that think like this. I think you can't. It's like the analogy of the coals. One coal on its own outside is gonna get cold really quickly. Like it's on fire, but then it like cools down very quickly. But a bunch of coals together can like keep a fire going. And I'm like, I think it's so easy. I said all these great things. Yeah, I'm convicted, yada yada. But I'm like, it's so easy if I went and I journeyed along 1 week. We stopped meditating for 1 week, 3 days maybe, and I don't connect with any friends and talk like this. On the fourth day, I will be the person I was a week ago, where I don't have these convictions. I don't even know how to like kind of stand my footing sometimes. Like I
You
won't
believe that?
I won't, not that as in like I am that person, but I'm not gonna speak like this. I'm not going to lead as well. My sword won't be as sharpened. I could still cut. I know who I am, and I'm definitely more embodied, but I don't know, there's a potency that comes with doing this together. Um, yeah.
Mm.
It's not about being
Interesting.
85%. It's about 100. Like, and I know your philosophy is like get to the 100 without anybody fucking we will. I know your
I
philosophy.
mean, not with alone. You mean not really alone? I wouldn't say by yourself. I think it's
Through
important to have,
with
yeah,
others, but through you.
with others, 100% with others. Um, there's like I see it as like you can get to 85% on your own. Like you can do a lot of the work on your own, but I think we're humans. We're social creatures. So like a lot of it happens relationally. It happens when you're around different types of people. Um, so I think the idea of enlightenment in today's world is like you wouldn't recognize someone who's enlightened walking among us because he's learned how to be a human being in a full unconditional way. So I think there's a lot to do with like noticing how things that trigger me in my friendships, in my relationships, in my family dynamics, in my just casual encounters with random people every day, things that trigger me are reflections of ways I don't see myself purely. But without those people, I can't see those things, right? So in a way, like people help us see ourselves more clearly. And that's where I think having a group of people that are together on the same mission, we help shine a light on on each other. That's the value. Because then it rising tide raises all boats
Yeah,
situation.
man.
My favorite phrase this week.
Yes. Yes, that's how I feel too. Rising tide.
So
Can I do one last we could always keep going. I don't care either. Can I bring up something you said this week that was very, I guess, vulnerable, but like such a do you know what I'm gonna say? You voice noted me.
goldfish. I'm a goldfish, remember?
You voice noted me on Tuesday or Wednesday something in the morning after our morning call. Um that you said about me and sometimes how you feel about me,
What did I say?
about pedestaling.
Oh yeah.
Do
Yeah.
you wanna bring that up? Let's just like bring
Sure.
it all the way to the light.
Yeah. So we talked about earlier this episode. You're someone who lives from the heart. You just, it's just your nature. Like it's so easy for you. It comes easy to you. And like I felt that immediately when we first met. And it's unfamiliar to me because I've always lived up here, which is okay. I'm learning not to villainize this. Um, and so it got to a point where like over the last few months, I think I realized that like I have been putting the fact that you operate from the heart and I don't operate from the heart. Like I created this separation where I put you above me. And when it came to like how to be a better person, how to have better friendships, how to have relationships, all these things. Like even if you flip through our podcast episodes, anyone who's listening can probably notice. Like I ask the questions. I'm like, wow, I learned a lot. Like I'm always listening and noticing things about how you just show up naturally in the world. It's so beautiful. But I realized that, yeah, like pedestaling, putting someone above you for any reason is not doing a service to either of person, especially not for me and
Doesn't honor
therefore
you.
not for you. It doesn't honor either of us.
Mm.
I don't remember what I said in the voice note exactly about that.
Bro, you being a goldfish is kind of goaded. Your presence is so thick that you can't
I
even
just,
recall.
I don't, yeah. What I said was like purely what I was feeling in that moment. But what else did I say? Was there anything else context wise?
No, that was it. That was it.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I love the nonchalantness that you bring up things that people would usually like never say or fall on their face for. Like I remember I heard this sermon one time where the pastor was like, tell your friend that you're jealous of them if it's creating a weird dynamic with you two. Just tell them that you're jealous of him, and then just like watch how it'll dissipate. And people were like, "Bro, there's no fucking way." And it's like this is an equivalent of that, but you're like, dude, I'm idolizing you, and by naming it, it went away. Like in my eyes, it like either went away probably in the like immediately or like going to, and even just saying it right now, like normalizing it, it's yeah. Like when I idolize people, it's the same thing. I don't see them as human. I don't interact with them the same way, and so I'm timid. And then it's just like no one wins. Like it's just, I think the fact that you just name it so easily is like really great.
And can I share one more thing about that?
Please.
I feel like when I said that to you, because what you just said is literally so spot on. The moment you name it,
Yeah.
it's like it kind of starts to dissolve, right? And I think, holy shit, I just put this together right now. I think that led to me trying less to meet you
At
from
the
the
heart.
heart all the
Yes.
time.
Yes.
Because in some sense, I was doing that because it was like, this is how I reach Andres, right? And not to say that like I don't want to live in the heart. Like that's the opposite extreme of what I'm saying right now. But there is some blend of the two
That is you.
where is who I am, is my true nature. And I'm not honoring myself if I always like I would literally judge myself. I would evaluate, okay, how much from the heart did I show up in this conversation? And that and like even if in the moment you feel like, oh wow, he was really connected to me, like you and I are like really connected in that moment, it creates
It's
distance in the long
exhaustion.
run.
It's
And I
exhausting.
get tired.
Yeah,
And then I
eventually.
don't want to go deep. And I think, dude, honestly, that's probably why.
Mm.
Holy shit.
Because then it goes back to performance again, bro. It's like, fuck that. Fuck that. Just be you.
And the irony is, man, like, and this is something I want to. This is beautiful. We're talking about this, by the way.
I know. I love
Anyone
that we
who's
just
still,
say the thing.
whoever's still listening, man, mad props. But
Yeah.
we're getting into the like. This is what I honestly what I really want to talk about.
Mm.
I would feel so seen, and I do, but I want to name this part of us, like part of me being who I am in this friendship is going to feel like I am not as in my heart as you might want someone to be, ideally speaking. I think that is part of this because as I learn to just trust in my own being and just be who I am unapologetically, because
Mm.
the more I do that, man, I swear the more I can operate from, like, you'll feel the heart,
Yeah,
you'll
it's the
feel the
irony.
love.
Which part of it is like letting me be in my head more and still loving you will let me end up being in my heart more.
Yeah. So if I have an ask, if
Please.
you could, this is going to be an indefinite period of time. I don't know how long this is going to be, but if you could hold space and awareness and just remember that, like, every time I show up in any way to you, it is going to be in service of that. And even if it feels uncomfortable right now, I promise you it's not because I don't want to talk to you or I don't want to connect with you or I don't want to get real. It's actually the opposite. I want to get so real that I have to come
Get the
back to me,
yes.
which might create temporary,
I get it.
distance.
I get it. I get it. And honestly, the measure of the connection and love in our friendship, especially for me, is not, oh, one day he'll be able to listen to me. I don't expect and or have this like, oh, we're gonna get there. I'm friends with you because you're you. I'm friends with you because it's what it is. There's like something unique here. And I have other friends that can do that. And I don't want you to not be you to try to meet a certain want because it's not a need that has to be filled by you. And I have and that's the whole point. Like we have people in our lives, um, and it wouldn't be honoring anyone. It wouldn't be honoring anyone if you were just molding. Um, and yeah, yeah, I'm so happy that we're bringing this up.
Yeah, man. Like, I swear, the way my heart shows up is going to feel real, but it's going to look different than maybe what you're used to. But
That's easy.
yeah. Oh, I love how I said that. It's gonna feel real. It's gonna look different, and it's just about honoring myself every step of the way until I get there. Which is when I say get there, it's like,
You're probably already there. You just
yeah,
it's just
it's
moment to moment. It's moment to
it's
moment.
taken off the masks that are on, right, one by one, and having a friendship like ours where I can say this and feel like this person sees me anyway, even if it creates this temporary feeling of like, oh, you know, I have a preference in how I want to be met and whatnot. Which you just said, like, it's not the end of the world. Like, we have different friends for different things and whatever, right? But dude, I'm here for, like, you know this about me. I'm the rest of my life is dedicated to truth. It's dedicated to knowing my true nature. It's dedicated to living in a way that is 100% who I am. And that's not like, I say that with complete seriousness. In whatever path that takes is a path it's going to take. And I'm already loving it so much. And I just want you to know, like, what, like, this friendship has been such a beautiful part of that already. And I really, like, I'm going to say something maybe foolish, but I really hope that we can see each other through the different seasons and phases of this journey, because it's going to take twists and turns. And I want you to know, man, that I feel like you're starting to become like very much the same way. Like you're becoming very like attuned to like, what is this? Like we talked about God last week and all these things. And however that looks for you, man, I want you to know I'm always going to honor you. I'm always going to like support you. I'm always going to respect you. I'm always going to love you, and I'm always going to hold space in whatever way you need, and in whatever way I can in that moment. And that alone is like a blessing for me and for you. So I just want you to know that, like, I know it's not this ideal kind of like thing that you might be used to, but in some sense, it's like it's even above that in some way. Like that's how real this is.
This is the most real I've even heard you speak, and you're honoring the fuck out of yourself. So like, dog, yes, yes, the seasons are gonna come, and we are gonna try new things and let go of different parts of us, and the ways we connect is the way it's supposed to be.
Exactly. Beautiful.
You said that so well. Dude, it came straight from the heart.
That's
straight from the heart. Suddenly the mask came down, and all of a sudden the heart came through. It's like fucking
funny
beautiful.
how that works, right? And guess
Funny
what?
how that works.
You felt it. You felt it. Beautiful, man. All right. I feel like that's a great place for us to stop for today. This is the longest episode we've had. This is great. I just a quick reflection. I felt like I was in performance mode for the first 40 minutes of this. And I felt myself, and I was like getting irritated. Like, why am I not here? What's going on? Like, I'm here, but I'm not here. And it wasn't until you broke that wall just right now that I feel connected again. And it feels really nice.
I know exactly what you mean. I felt that last night with a friend. What was it about? What was the thing that broke it?
Just speaking my truth completely. Like, not filtering my words, not trying to make sure it doesn't offend you. Just saying it how it is. That's it.
Can we do something?
Yes.
Can we make it the intention at the start of next pod that we will say our truth to start the episode? And if there's nothing specific, let's start talking. And when the truth feels like it's blocking because it's not being said, just
yeah, let's do it. I mean, we like sometimes it takes some, like we have to talk through things until we realize like it's a process, like we're still in a weird way getting to know each other.
Yes.
Even though we know each other.
There's so many things when you're making new friends.
Yeah. So I'm with you.
Time and effort.
Let's set, how we're doing intentions when we do meditation. Let's set intentions for every episode too. I think that would go a long way.
Hell yeah.
Beautiful. All right. Well, thank you all for sticking around for an hour and a half. And
if you made it this far, you are a people.
Oh yeah. In fact, if you made it this far and you resonate, like reach out. Like, please.
Facts. Yeah, you are like, fucking people. Like
you are who we want to talk to.
Yeah, literally.
Please reach out.
Yes.
All right, y'all. We'll see you next week. Much love. Take care.